All right, I am recording now, and I am streaming now. And now I will begin streaming the audio too.
Cool, and I will tweet it out right now.
Yeah, tweet it out. And I turned the audio down, the volume of the audio down a little bit, but I feel like remember how AF Waller was like, "Oh, you guys are a little too, you're too hot." He was saying,
"We're too hot."
You hear that buzz when you speak? That's your power cable. So go over and hit the bypass off, and you'll hear that.
Is that better? I don't
hit the bypass off on second DBX there. Yeah. I don't hear the buzz anymore. So you got it. Yay. What was it? What did I do?
No, I think it was just your power for the MacBook.
Oh, I'm gonna have to move all that. Yeah, there's a lot of problems. Are you okay? Are you all right? Did you get hurt?
No.
Okay.
All
right. Did you tweet it out?
I tweeted
Can you retweet it for me from my account?
I don't know if I have access to your Twitter.
I will be right back. Can you set up this show for us?
I sure can.
We're going to record vocals 1, 2, and remote 1. And DVH 11.
There.
Awesome. Thank you.
I started typing on that.
Yeah, the one labeled video recorder will not work. All right. I think we just got the one remote today, so that should be that. Let's if
Hello?
everything's hi. Oh, you're watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told Jeff I would get him first.
Okay.
So anyway, there we are. So let's see. I set up the shots a little bit different. Now, what the folks who are watching this live or watching the video not live, they're seeing our new temporarily located room camera, which is a GoPro. It is which GoPro is it? It's the
Hero Silver, I think.
Hero Silver GoPro camera, which is nice. I think it's nice.
And you have your sponsor reads with you?
I have them right there.
Good.
And then, did we put that blur on this one? I don't think so. So this is another shot that Hattie just set up for me.
Just it's another view.
It's another view because we had a camera free up with the GoPro. I feel like to do that I should do this, but I kind of like this shot. I like this shot better than my almost better than my heads up shot.
That's more of like you're talking to the listeners, and then the one over there is more
talking
like
out the window.
Behind the scenes.
Is it a behind? You feel like it's a behind the scenes one?
Like maybe you could cut to that when you're like listening to a guest or something.
I like that.
You know?
Oh, you know what's not on here?
Ooh.
You know what's not on? My lower third's not on there.
Oh yeah, put that on there.
Why is that not on there? DB lower thirds.
Oh yeah. Thank you,
what?
Mikey.
What happened?
I have to make a small change.
To what?
To your background.
What did you do to it? What's back there?
I haven't changed. That's the problem.
What's in there? Oh, on there? Just scratch through it. We can't do it.
Scratch through it?
Yeah, it's too late. We got the wrong ombudsman is still up there. There's that. We got everything. But you can see with this camera, you can really see what's going on. I'm telling you, I like this as my shot better than the other one.
I do like that one a lot.
It's a good. It's fun. People, I feel like they can see what's going on better. It just changed the 7 to an 8. Change the 7 to an 8. I think is all you're gonna do. Yeah. Oh, good. That's even better. Look at all these cables on the ground. We get it. That's my next thing is getting cable management ready. I think people tune in for the Okay, Jeff is almost out of time. He's almost out of time. Just draw a line through it. It is Thursday. That's because the last show we did was on Tuesday. All right. If I can keep these keyboards straight, we'll be in good shape today. See, now if I was smart, I would have switched to that shot. Then they could have seen more of the keyboard stuff. Yeah, I like that. It looks good. Yeah. Just draw a line through it and write the word fly. F-L-Y. All right. Are you ready to do a show? All right. Anytime. Anytime. Are these in an order or can I do these in any other order? How come you gave me 4 sponsors? People complain. People complained about them.
I'm sorry, but that our show is so cool.
Well, all right. You ready?
Yes.
You ready? Okay. I'm gonna open up with the regular shot and then I'll surprise him and switch over to the other one.
Okay.
If you're all right with that. Thursday, March 19th, huh? That's my mom's birthday.
That's the 19th?
It's my mom's birthday.
That's still wrong up there.
Why did you write 8?
Because you said write 8. You said cover the 7 up with an 8.
But you're supposed to know these things. I'm not supposed to know this. Go get the stuff. You know what? You're going to explain to Jeff why we were late because he's going to get angry. Was it wet?
Yeah, I brought water.
At least we don't have to change the year.
That is true.
All right. Well, I feel bad. Jeff's been waiting for 27 minutes now because he's right on time. He's a consummate professional, that guy. He's a pro. All right. I like the Thursday and the Tuesday. This is why we need a digital version
Right, we
of
just
it.
type it in.
Yep, that's you.
That's me.
All right. Are you ready now?
Yes.
All right. Good. March 19th. Good. This is the Dan Benjamin Hour for Thursday, March 19th. It's finally bright and sunny here, kind of. Although they say it's going to rain on Saturday, so I'm a little upset about that. But we've got to, if you're tuning, I would like for everybody who just listens to this as a podcast, I would like for you to tune in even just one time and look at today's video. We've got a YouTube channel, but I also embed the video right there on the page. So you can go to like5by5.tv/dbh/11. You can also go to danbenjamin.com and see the latest episodes with a whole bunch more stuff there. But I would like for you to tune in and just see the video. I think that's a reasonable thing to ask.
Come and look at the video. It's just fun.
It's fun. Even if you just watch it one time and you get an idea of like, this is what the studio looks like. This is what's going on. And we've actually added a bunch of cameras. So if you've been if you're watching the video, you've seen the cameras because we leave all the before show stuff in. What I've decided I want to do, Hattie, is I want to take, once we get one of the interns doing this, I want to have them we'll leave the pre-show stuff in, okay? And then we'll have them put the show intro in and then it'll jump to the show. So, it'll be like pre-show, intro, show, like that.
I like that.
That's what I'm going to do. So that will be kind of like a fun of like a cold open. But Hattie set up a new shot for me, this shot here, which I kind of like because it looks like there's a lot going on, more than I think there is.
I like it.
You like the shot.
Well, and you get to see how much you're working on. You don't get to see your other monitors in the other shot.
Right. And then we've got our new GoPro, which is the whole room shot, which is really cool. Thanks to Sean West, a.k.a. Sean McCabe, a.k.a. The Sean, friend of the show, for suggesting a GoPro. The GoPro is a really cool little camera in and of itself. It's great because you can mount it to your helmet. Because I do a lot of extreme sports, Hattie. I don't know if you knew that about me, but I do a lot of extreme sports. So I'm very familiar with the GoPro for that reason.
You got the head strap for that reason.
I got the head strap, and I also got a GoPro head strap. And so I've got some experience with GoPro, but he said, you know what, just clamp it up to the wall, put it in the room, and it'll give you a really cool shot of the whole room. So now we get this room cam. But I feel like this is not where it's going to stay. Right now, you should see how this is set up. It's rigged in a crazy way. But we'll be getting it because we have a desk in here now, Hattie. What is the desk for?
The desk is for our producer.
You mean you?
No, not me.
Oh, we've hired some new producer people, some interns.
Some new people.
Intern producers.
We're very excited. We have help finally.
So the interns will be coming in, and there's a desk for them to sit down, and maybe they'll take over controlling this. This is the key to everything right here. This little keypad. It lets me switch all the shots, and they're going to switch the shots, and then they'll make it interesting. But in the meantime, we also do an audio show, and we've got a lot to cover today, and we've got two amazing guests here today. We've got Jeff Kanata of We Have Concerns and DLC. I feel like I have to say DLC second because although it's my favorite show that he does this other show with some other dude. That
some guy.
Yeah, that keeps winding up being all over iTunes and everything else. So we'll talk to him about that. We'll also talk to him about a couple of the other stories that I have here coming up that I want to hit them really quick and then get Jeff Kanata on. We also have longtime friend of mine, huge inspiration of mine. I don't even know if I would be here, if I would even be alive if it wasn't for Jeffrey Zeldman. He's going to be on the show today as well in a little while. And we've got a lot of news. We've got a lot of other great things. And Hattie continues to book 4 sponsors for the show because I know that, that's great. I love that there's so much sponsor interest. So we'll talk about our lovely sponsors. Before we do, I kind of want to jump right in and talk a little bit about some news that we missed our show yesterday. So I'm going to be doing 5 shows tomorrow to make up for it, 5 episodes. Sony PlayStation Vue streaming TV service has launched. It says today in this headline, but it was actually a couple days ago. It launched in New York City, Chicago, and Philadelphia. It's $50 a month. And The Verge is talking about this. Nathan Ingraham over there says that $50 a month might let you really cut the cord this time. And Sony is taking on cable directly, it works over PlayStation Vue, and it's available for PS3 and PS4 owners, again, only in those 3 major cities, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago. They're competing with places like Dish's Sling TV service, but you pay a monthly fee and you get live access to a number of network channels. And they have deals in place with CBS, Fox, NBC, Discovery, Scripps, Turner, Viacom, and AMC. You get 85 distinct channels. Is that enough for you? How did you think?
That's a lot of channels.
Well, I mean, is that enough for you, though?
Probably. I don't even watch that much television yet. I'm being completely drained.
Yeah.
Money-wise by the cable company.
50. That's the shot I want. 50 different channels you get, but it is not cheap. And I have no knowledge of what their streaming experience is going to be. Now, you can step up, and you will also get the national sports networks, BTN, the Golf Channel, regional sports network, like New York's Yes, Comcast SportNet. So and then there's the elite package, which gets you even more stuff. But what The Verge is saying is that the regular one is probably going to be enough for you, enough for most people. So we've been talking a lot about this. You actually found this link, which is there's a site now. The Verge has made a little mini site. The Verge should be paying us for all this.
I know.
It's called the Cord Cutter, and it lets you calculate what it would cost to get all of your TV online. So you basically go in and you pick the services that you're interested in trying out. Well, obviously we want HBO Now. Well, that only gets you HBO. See the little light there if you're watching at home. So you just click the ones you want. Okay, well, we want to let's configure this. Of course,
HBO and Netflix.
You start with those. So you get those 2. You want to add Sling TV, boom. You get tons of things. ABC Family, Disney, ESPN. In fact, ESPN, if you're a sports fan at all, the only way you're going to get ESPN is with Sling TV. But it kind of looks to me like Sling TV and PlayStation Vue are competing. But if you were to get both of those, you got pretty much everything. I've never heard of CBS All Access, but it only costs like $6. So I guess that's the only way to get CBS. You throw Amazon in there, you get Amazon Prime, which I already have, so I'm leaving that off. Let's say I want to go with Sling TV. I'm getting most everything, but there's still a couple things missing. And Hulu Plus steps in to kind of fill that gap. $51.97 is what you'd pay for HBO Now, Hulu Plus, Netflix, and Sling TV. And that gives you pretty good coverage. Most of the channels that most people are watching these days. If you've got Amazon already, Amazon Prime, you add that in, and you're probably already paying for that. But this is going to save you, this could save you $15 a month. That may not sound like a lot, but that's a fair amount. But here's what I was saying is I know for me, like, this is no big deal. I can have this many different services. I have no problem with this many different services. This is nothing to me. This is a non-issue. Different machines, different services, different things hooked up. But I think for a lot of people, and my wife is one of them, and my kids, they hate every time I bring a new device. They don't ever want to use it. They don't ever want to use the new device. They don't want to switch around. There's another remote hanging out. So that's half the reason why we still have cable, is because of that. Hattie, you were telling me you have no less than 22 different remotes on your coffee table.
I have a lot, yes.
So, I'm leading up. See, I've got a whole lead up here that I was going to do with Jeff, but maybe I'll just jump ahead because I know he's waiting.
Yeah, he's getting antsy.
So I'll skip through those things. One of the things I wanted to talk to him about is finally we have the Pixels official trailer for what's coming out. And basically the premise of this is that in 1982, we sent out a space probe. It had examples of life on Earth, including some video games, and some aliens got hold of this probe that we sent out, saw these games, and assumed that this was an attack against them. When in fact, of course, it wasn't. They assumed it was, and they sent giant pixelated versions of these guys to Earth to attack us, and that's their attack. So that's game-related. I thought Jeff could talk about that. But more importantly, speaking of games, Nintendo has announced some plans to expand into mobile gaming, and this is kind of a big deal. It's kind of a really big deal because everybody's been saying that Nintendo is dead if they don't do this. And maybe Nintendo's already dead. But let's go. Let me get Jeff on the line here. Think he waited? I don't blame him if he left. All right. Let's see if he's there. I think he left. I think he had to run. I blame you, Hattie, because you were so late getting the dates done.
Hello.
Hey, Jeff. Do you have any time, or are you already out of here?
I got like 10 minutes tops.
I'll take.
Apologize.
Oh no, you don't have to apologize. It's our fault. I'll take 5 of your 10 minutes. How's that?
Great. Perfect.
The main thing I wanted to jump in. First of all, I've already told the listeners who you are, because you're amazing. You do this great show here on 5x5 called DLC. Downloadable content is what I'm told that stands for, because I'm not much of a gamer anymore, Jeff. And I
like saying downloadable Kanata as well.
Kanata, I like that. So now my question for you, Jeff, is with this show, you talk about a lot of different console games, and you've been talking before I get to this Nintendo thing. There's this one game you and Scott Johnson, I think, have been talking about. It's this Hero Blizzard thing.
Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm.
Blizzard.
Okay,
Yes.
what's going on with this thing, and why you guys are talking about it like it's the best game that's ever been invented, and now I feel like I need to buy it and start playing it.
I am obsessed with it.
What
the
is
good
it?
news is you don't have to buy it. Actually, if you're not invited to the beta, it's only in beta right now, and the only way to get into the beta is to give them money. But when it does come out, it will be free to play, so it's not a game you have to purchase. This is a MOBA. Multiplayer online battle arena, which has become a very, very big genre of games in recent years, with games like League of Legends and Dota 2, dominating, esports and making all kinds of crazy stars with esports players and having these big contests. And League of Legends is one of the most popular games on the planet. They have more concurrent players than any other game ever.
Wow.
But Heroes of the Storm is Blizzard's entry into this. Blizzard, the people who made World of Warcraft and Diablo and lots of other really popular games. And so it's all of their characters fighting in this multiplayer online battle arena. They're calling it a brawler because it's a little bit different than those other games. But basically, it's the same idea. It's a big team-based fight, and I liken it to playing a game of pickup basketball. It's a competitive game where you have to work as a team, and it's extremely deep strategically. And this particular MOBA, Heroes of the Storm, which is, again, only in beta right now,
Right.
I find to be a little bit more accessible than the other two that I mentioned, the sort of big dogs on the block. It's the one MOBA that has really brought me in and made me fall in love with the genre in the way that a lot of people have fallen in love with League of Legends and Dota, because I love these characters, but also I've found that really deep skill curve that you can just get better and better and better at it, and it's extraordinarily rewarding when you work as a team, like playing a game of pickup basketball. It's that kind of fun for me.
See, that's something that I think is really interesting and cool, in that, you know, for me, especially when, you know, all these games that are coming out now are, you know, it takes so much to get, it seems like, from me, from the outside, it seems like it takes so much to get into one of these kinds of games. It seems like it takes so much to make all of this stuff, you know, like, to get all the things that you need to get and make everything happen and find the, you know, leagues and all this different stuff. It seems like it's almost like, wow, I don't want to try and climb that hill just to play a game that I might not, you know, really even like that much. And
I
like,
totally understand.
I mean,
totally understand. There's a very, very intimidating learning curve to these games, and I totally get it. I was off-put by Dota and League for that very reason, and it was only because I got invited to the alpha of this game, and I felt like, well, there's a very small pool of people here. Everybody's learning this game at the same time. Maybe I'll give this one a shot. And I just happened to get really hooked on it and understand what the love of these games is all about. And it got me hooked. But that is a really, really big issue. And in the last few years, you know, I'm of an age where I grew up. My lifespan is basically the lifespan of video games, of
right.
computer entertainment, right?
Right.
And when I was a kid, when I first started reviewing computer games at 14 years old, I played literally everything because there wasn't that much stuff to play. And so I came up with a mentality of, if you're into video games, you play all video games.
Right. Right.
So,
right.
So I had this very Renaissance man kind of view of it as a very wide but very shallow experience level where I played everything, and I try to finish all the games I play. But in recent years, there are these games that are much, much deeper experiences, that the skill ceiling is so high on them that people can play just one or two of these games and just keep getting better and better and better at them and specialize, right? And I have found just in the last few years the joy of, instead of sort of having this broad, shallow experience, finding a few games and getting very deep into them. And these MOBAs are a perfect example of games that reward learning how to play them, reward finding teammates who work together really well, and reward that devotion and the constant coming back to it, because it's so deep and there's so much to learn, and there's always, it's like I said, it's like a sport. It's
Right.
like a game of basketball. You can play basketball and you can understand that you need to get the ball into the hoop, right? You understand the basic level of it,
Mm-hmm.
but there's always new strategies. There's always new skills to be working on,
Right.
and there's always new ways to deepen your experience with it.
Right. See, I just, so for me to get this, I can join the beta. It costs a little bit of money. I can get this. And then is this something you just jump right in and you start playing? Or do I like find you online, or do I find a friend, or is it match me up? Because I love
it. Will match you up.
Okay.
I recommend playing co-op mode first.
Okay.
Co-op mode is when you play you have a team of human beings against a team of computer controlled AI.
Right.
And that's a little gentler way in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a recurring segment on my show DLC called Jeff's Hots Primer, which is sort of my tips on people to get into Heroes of the Storm. So I recommend listening to that. I'm kind of trying to outline stuff to help people get into this particular game because I love it so much.
Right. Like, yeah, it matters to you. It matters to you that people find the game and start playing it. And that says so much about the game itself. Like, you're advocating for the game. Like, you want people to go and get into it and try it and play it. And I haven't heard about a game that's like this, where people are just taking it upon themselves to be like, no, stop. You need to go and play this game. Like, that says a lot about the game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think people are evangelistic like that about Dota and about League, and it just never worked on me because I was so intimidated by it. But honestly, a lot of my new perception on these kinds of games came from falling in love with Dark Souls,
Mm.
because Dark Souls was one of those games that people talked about, and I was like, it's just not. That doesn't sound like something I would enjoy. It sounds like this masochistic kind of self-flagellation as a video game. I don't want it. And then I finally got a friend to kind of be my Obi-Wan Kenobi and teach me how to do it. And I was like, oh my God, it's so rewarding. These kinds of experiences, when you get good at them and you actually can feel your skill level increasing, not because your character is leveling up, but because you as a human being are getting better at this, that is extremely fun. And I find those kinds of experiences to be the ones I'm gravitating to and putting more. I still love my, narrative based, play it for 8 hours, start to finish, and enjoy what this game has to offer. I still dig that, and we still talk about that a lot on DLC. But this is a game that's constantly in my rotation. I get up in the morning and I can't wait to play a few matches of it.
See, that's
It's
the last
great.
game that I remember was like that for me was when Minecraft like first came out, and I would like wake up early and play it, and hours would go by, and I'd be like, "Wow, look what I built!" And also now I'm super late, so
Right.
and maybe I need a game like this in my life. The last thing I want to ask you, because I know you've got to run, is the they have this brand new um, announcement from Nintendo that just came out.
Hmm.
And it's that Nintendo is going to be coming out with, of all things, games for like our iOS devices.
Hmm.
That's I know you've talked about this in the past, but that's really interesting to me because the joke is that Apple's doomed, right? Well, Nintendo, for all intents and purposes, was seeming like it was doomed because it had never, they've wanted to completely control their own experience as far as coming out with the all of their handheld devices, their consoles, and never willing to even. It's not like people are saying, "Oh, we need Super Mario World for iOS." They're just saying we need something from you. And they've been
Hmm.
completely hesitant to do it. And now we get this announcement that they're going to be doing this. What are your thoughts on that? Is it too little too late now?
Oh, I don't think so at all. It's interesting to me. I mean, the 3DS and the new 3DS were the highest selling console last month, according to NPD.
Wow.
So they're not selling their handheld devices. They're
Right.
they're selling them really, really well. And the new
Mm-hmm.
3DS seems to be a big success. Um, I think what you're going to find, I think it's really easy to misinterpret this news and to say, oh my God, Super Mario World or the old Mario Brothers or Metroid or whatever is going to be out on my iPhone.
Right.
That's not what's happening. That's not at all what's happening. They're creating new Nintendo games for handheld for
Brand
iOS
new
and
stuff.
Android
Brand new stuff.
devices. This is new, different stuff. This is, and I think it's going to be very different than what is coming out on 3DS. It's not going to be these same kinds of console experiences. I think you're going to find, while they may have some of the same IP
Mm-hmm.
of popular Nintendo characters,
Mm-hmm.
because Iwata has said he didn't put any, you know, the kibosh on any specific um, uh, characters. Um, what is actually happening is I think you're going to find these very phone specific experiences that just wouldn't work or would feel weird on
Right.
a 3DS device,
Right.
like endless runners or these sort of uh, free to play type experiences
Sure.
that are much smaller, much more bite sized, that just wouldn't work as a cartridge that you would go and spend $40 for
Right.
at the
Right.
store.
Right.
I think that's what you're going to see.
Very cool. Well, listen, Jeff, I want you to tell us about We Have Concerns before you leave. I mean, obviously you do DLC, and if you're into the gaming stuff, it's a great place to go. It's the best place to go to find out about all the games and game discussions. But you've got We Have Concerns. You do this with Anthony Carboni, who's
Hmm.
a very, very cool young man. What's the show about? What is it, and where can people go to find it?
It's easy to find. It's at wehaveconcerns.com. It's a 20-minute show 3 times a week, and it's about science and comedy. So basically, we take a interesting science or anthropology or philosophy story that happened in the news that usually gets sent in by a listener, and we talk about it. We talk about what it means for us, and then we pop into sort of improv character bits. We do funny, kind of ridiculous, all improvised. It's a completely improvised show But people seem to dig it, and we're having a blast doing it. And it's really easy to check out an episode if you go to wehaveconcerns.com. They're really short, and we guarantee you'll learn something and have at least one laugh in every episode.
Awesome. Well, Jeff, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. I'll let you go. I know you got to run, and we're a little bit
sorry
late.
About that.
No,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Quite all right, man.
Get out of here, but I'd love to come back and talk when I have more time sometime.
I'll tell you what. I'll start playing this game next time you come out. We can talk about how obsessed I am with it.
Sounds great.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Take care.
Such a nice guy. I blame you, Hattie, for being late.
For doing the date.
Well, you had all day to write the right date up there.
I know I did.
I have to blame someone. Can't be my fault.
No.
Jeffrey is also running out of time. Everyone's running out of time right now today. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Even I'm running out of time.
Yeah, we all are if you think about it in the existential sense. Let me tell you about Linda before I get Jeffrey Zeldman, who is friends with the real Linda. First of all, there is a real Linda. Did you know that?
She's a real lady.
She's a real lady. And she went on to build a real company. And the company is Lynda, Lynda, lynda.com. I don't know why I'm even having to explain this. All I should have to say to people is lynda.com. And they should just sort of...
And then you just say, duh.
Mm-hmm. Just like they look at you like, mm-hmm. I know. I know. You want to do it? Do it. Yeah. Lynda, lynda.com. They made a special URL, lynda.com/dbh. They've got over 3,000 videos. The videos teach you how to do the kinds of things that people like us love to do. We want to learn how to do things on the computer just like that. You want to learn how to edit in Final Cut Pro? I use that one as an example because it's a black art. If you're more interested in using like the new version of Excel, you want to learn how to get up and running with WordPress. Then get GTD, the new GTD. They got David Allen on Lynda, the David Allen, teaching about getting things. They need to get Jeff Kanata on there to teach how to play this Hero Blizzard thing.
They do.
The Blizzard game. Put an hour. I'd spend. But see, they don't just do like these long courses that are completely inaccessible. No, that's what's genius about it. They'll do a 5 or 10 minute thing that's like, I just want to know how to do this in Adobe Premiere. I just want to know how to do this in Photoshop. And you can jump in and learn that one thing that you're out. Done.
That's it.
Love that. They've got the whole thing on topography, going paperless. I mean, it's everything. You download these things on your iOS device, your Android device, watch it on your computer. It doesn't matter. But they have a free 10-day trial. By the way, I think you should take advantage of Lynda a little bit. And get this 10-day trial and watch all 3,000 videos during the 10 days. That's what I'm trying to encourage people to do. Jeff is out advocating for the Heroes Blizzard Heroes thing. I'm advocating that you should go out and watch 3,000 videos in 10 days. I bet you could do it. Very little sleep, but you could do it and you could learn everything Lynda has. It's just an idea. You're going to have to run with this thing, but go check it out. And the URL that supports the show, Lynda, lynda.com/DBH. Going there will support the show. Signing up will support you. And we appreciate that. Thanks for all the help from Lynda. Love those folks. So did you see what I did here? I put a little picture of Jeff Kanata in the bottom corner.
I liked that.
While I was talking to him. And now I'm going to put a little picture of Jeffrey Zeldman in its place. Because I have Jeffrey Zeldman coming up next. Also very limited on time. See him?
Yeah, there he is.
See? So then when I get him on the phone.
Jeffrey.
He's making jokes in the other one. Let's see if we can get Jeffrey on here.
She's a lady.
He was typing to me in the other window. He says, take advantage of Lynda. He says, she's a lady. You know the real Lynda, don't you, Jeffrey?
I do. I better turn off your show. I've been enjoying your show.
He sounds so good. Why doesn't he sound this good on his own show? Jeffrey Zeldman does an amazing show. It is called The Big Web Show. It's all web that matters. Is that your thing? Yeah. I love
everything
that.
web that matters.
Everything
you started it with me.
We did it, and we need to do another together. We've talked about it.
We should do another. I did one with Aaron Gustafson today.
I listened to it. I listened to the whole thing.
It's up now. It was pretty good. Yeah, you were like you work while listening to your shows, which is pretty awesome. But I just want to share something.
Yeah.
This is from adweek.com.
Okay.
A new browser with the death of Internet Explorer, Microsoft. If you just heard that Dan Benjamin is doing a show about the death of Internet Explorer,
Right.
Internet Explorer is dying, then you might Google, and this is death of IE,
Right.
and this is what you would get. This is a top result. This is what Google considers worthwhile, useful information.
Okay.
With the death of Internet Explorer, Microsoft faces one of its greatest branding challenges. A new browser could end or extend the era of scorn by Christina Monlos. I'm sure she's a really good reporter on things that have nothing to do with web technology.
Uh-huh.
I just want to give you this paragraph.
Okay.
In recent years, people have forgotten that Internet Explorer pioneered many of the innovations, including Ajax or JavaScript, that made the internet what it is and was today. So I'm going to go back. Just like instead they focused on the product's lackluster user experience, according to Roy DeYoung, SVP of Creative Strategy for PM Digital. I don't know who they are.
Right.
Probably an ad agency that does digital stuff, and that's not what I would consider a website. I'm just feeling very cranky and get off my lawn, you people. This is like so bad. So basically, okay, to confuse, like Netscape invented JavaScript, and it's one word, JavaScript. It's not
two
Java
words.
space script.
Right.
And it's not the same as Ajax.
Yes.
And
Different
so
things.
she kind of almost got one thing right, and everything else is wrong. And I don't know about users.
Yeah.
I think people, it wasn't the lackluster user experience, because if people felt that way, they wouldn't be using Windows,
Mm-hmm.
because the whole user experience in every aspect of it is like lackluster. I'm sorry, I'm making a lot of enemies here, but it wasn't that. It was that the standards compliance was poor and slow and way behind, Firefox and Chrome and Safari, and that basically behind WebKit. That was the problem.
Right.
Behind WebKit and Firefox. Like, there's surely a way that even a non-technical person could have gotten these basic things right. But maybe she only talked to advertising people. It is
it's ad week, right?
But so here's the thing. This is what Google thought was really important. That's what people thought was really important.
Yeah.
The only thing that's more important, according to this isn't Google actually, it's DuckDuckGo, is an ad.
See, we can tell you're in New York with all the sirens.
Oh,
and
you can
stuff.
hear that?
Yeah, I love it.
I have soundproof windows.
Do you really?
It's incredibly. We're blocking most of the street noise.
Oh wow.
Now you have no idea what it would be for real if I opened the window. If I wasn't so time pressed and those windows weren't so heavy, I would open one just so you could. Seriously, but the only there's an ad that says Netanyahu's victory, the death of Internet Explorer. That's the top result.
Man.
So somehow the victory of the Prime Minister of Israel is the top result in what is in Financial Times.
Right.
And then IE6 countdown from IE6death.com is next. So that's great, but that's like 10 years old. And then
the reality is that Microsoft is essentially ending their development of Internet Explorer as a brand. But that
as a brand, right? They're not, as far as I know, they're not just forking WebKit again. Are they forking WebKit again?
I don't know. But
I think they're doing a new.
It's just the
rendering
name.
engine.
Yeah, it's just the name. The new thing is called Project Spartan. And they're basically saying this is a new browser that's coming out in Windows 10.
I mean, there's precedent, right? At some point,
they just have to
which,
name the new thing. That's all that this is.
They're naming the new rendering engine, but Mozilla did that, right? Originally, you and I remember Netscape versus Internet Explorer. back in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer days. And at a certain point when Netscape, instead of saying Netscape 5 is here, they basically said, oh, this is the Mozilla project.
Right.
So they threw out their old rendering engine,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of calling the new one New Improved Netscape 5,
Right.
they just called it the Mozilla project.
Right.
And that's what Microsoft is doing. So people who say, "Oh, I'm so tired of Internet Explorer," they could have kept calling it that.
Yeah.
But they got, I guess they got that the name, the brand perception was something they couldn't get away
but Microsoft is, for the record, is very weird about naming things. Everything needs to involve the word Windows. Everything needs to involve the word Office. And this is just notorious of Microsoft to continue to reuse the same name over and over and over and
well,
over
Apple
again.
uses I.
They do. They
Which
do.
is ridiculous, although, it seems to work for them, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, I mean,
And Pat.
Yeah, Pad and I, and when you think about though the direction that we're going in, Apple embracing its own browser technology a number of years ago. I still remember the keynote with Steve Jobs on the stage, and he had, was it Camino that we had back then?
Yep.
And
we had IE5 for
yes.
Mac, which was great in its day by our mutual friend Tontik Chelik and his team at Microsoft.
It was great. It was a great brand. And you could change, I don't know if people remember this. I know you do. You could change the color of the highlights and buttons and the Internet Explorer E logo to match the color of your iMac with a preference. Do you remember that?
No, I forgot that. That's ridiculous.
You remember that? You could do that so that if you had the blue iMac, you could change the E to be blue or to pink or whatever it was, whatever you liked to do. We had that.
The blue iMac and Zoolander are like the same exact era.
Yeah,
right?
I think they are. Isn't that scary?
The blue iMac, they smash it, right? That's the thing. They turn into apes.
Yeah.
And they say the file is in the computer, and then they smash the blue iMac.
Right. Get it out of there. So
Which made us sad at the time because we wanted one.
We did want one.
Now it just seems, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I was late getting you, but we'll have to have you back again to chat some more. In the meantime, if you want more of Jeffrey Zeldman, which I do.
I don't know if after this they will.
No, they sure will. You can find Jeffrey Zeldman right here on 5x5. He is at 5x5.tv/ it's Big Web Show. That's where you need to go. And he's got hundreds of episodes there and doing hundreds more. And one just dropped today with another mutual friend who, of course, I know through you, like I know everybody through you. Aaron Gustafson is great, and it was a great show. So go check that out. We'll put it into the show notes. And Jeffrey, come back sometime soon, and
I would
let's
love
hang
to.
out more. Thank you very much for being here.
Okay.
Sorry I got to you so late.
No
Take care.
problem. Bye-bye.
And bye. That is your fault he was late. I just wanted everything in the room, set up and ready to go before the show starts. What are you working on? You're working on something hard.
Oh, you're on my shot.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Yes, I'm working on more lower thirds.
More lower thirds.
Mm-hmm.
What I had said was, see how I have this little picture of Jeffrey down there. I said, wouldn't it be cool to have a little thing that says like on the phone and has a picture of the person on the phone? I feel like this camera could be lower.
That one?
Yeah. Like lower, so I'm not.
Well, I wanted to get over the top of your screens a
Oh,
little bit.
yeah, we gotta have it like. All right, I think this is a good shot. I like this shot better. You can see more of my receding hairline with it. See that? I like that.
That's your headphones.
No, that's hair. Okay, so a couple of other things I wanted to get to before we do our next sponsor, Internet Explorer. But just for the record, Internet Explorer is not dying. It's not dying. It's not going away. It's just not. They're not updating it. So speaking of things that go away and then come back, James Bond. I am a big James Bond fan. I did reviews of every single James Bond movie up to like the last one, that the Skyfall, with John Gruber when we were doing the talk show, which was a 5x5 show where we talked about Apple, Mac, and other things. And somehow we started talking about Bond films. We talked about every single one of them up to that point. And now we have our first poster. Most people have seen this poster by now. The movie's called Spectre, coming soon. We've got lots of different versions of this. But the summary is Inspector a cryptic message from James Bond past sends him on a trail to uncover a sinister organization while M battles political forces to keep the Secret Service alive. Bond peels back the layers of deceit to reveal the terrible truth behind Spectre. Directed by Sam Mendes. And has Christopher Waltz, Monica Bellucci, Naomi Harris, Ralph Fiennes. Not Ray. You got to be careful. There are different people. Did you know that? You knew that.
Yes, I did.
Okay, quick question for you then. Which of the Fiennes is in, you were starting to yawn. Which of the Fiennes is in the hotel? The Grand.
Ralph.
You think that's Ralph?
Yep.
And which one is Ray in? What's the difference between Ray Fiennes and Ralph Fiennes?
Are they both, are they related?
No, they're brothers.
Oh.
They're for sure
Then-
brothers.
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Is Alexa on? Are we recording Alexa?
She's
We're
not
recording
plugged in.
Oh, she's not plugged in. I was going to say, that's, I got to ask my...
She can be plugged in.
Well, no, because I'm not recording the track.
Oh.
See, because when I remember when we started, I said record vocal 1 and 2. If you had done 4, we would have been able to plug her in and turn. Anyway, there's no difference between Ralph Fiennes and Ray Fiennes. But I'm looking forward to the movie. I mean, I really, really, really am. There's a lot of people who haven't watched. Wow. There's a lot of people who haven't watched the James Bond movies before, haven't seen them. Highly recommend them. I think my favorite is still From Russia with Love. A long time ago, it was Dr. No, and I think they're both right up there. But you've got to watch them in order. It's a wonderful time, wonderful way to spend. Now, speaking of movies, we got Tron 3 is in the works. It's not completely, totally confirmed, but in theory, it is. The pieces are coming together. They're saying it's not greenlit yet here on The Verge, but it would be Joseph Kosinski is going to be directing it. It will be a sequel to the 2010 film Tron Legacy. We don't know who will be in the movie, but Legacy star Garrett Hedlund is being said to be coming back. You're a big fan of the Tron movies, aren't you?
I am. I liked them. They're really
The original.
good.
You've seen the original?
Yes, I watched the original first before I went and saw the new Tron when it was
Nice.
coming out. I made sure
Nice.
to do that. I liked the old Tron a lot.
Which part do you like about it? Bit?
I
Yes
just
and
liked
no?
all of it. I liked that they were thinking about like what would it be like to be inside of a computer? Like I don't know. I liked that train of thought.
It's a fun movie. I think it holds up. The effects don't necessarily hold up. I've been talking a lot about Automan.
Yes, you have.
So for people who don't know, you've got to check out Automan. It's probably one of the worst shows of all time ever made anywhere. Automan, apparently the people who made Tron were involved in Automan. Let me see if I can open up Automan, some pictures of Automan for those who are watching. But it was a terrible, terrible 80s show in which Desi Arnaz Jr. plays a police officer who is very ineffective, not good on the streets, much better, apparently, behind the scenes at his computer. So I'm going to show you guys who are watching at home some pictures. And if you're seeing these pictures, what you're seeing is a guy dressed up in what's very much like a Tron uniform, glowing. But the thing that was cool about this show for me was the car. The car looks very much like a Lamborghini. And if you could imagine a Lamborghini that's sort of black and then has glowing neon pinstriping at every point where there's an angle in borders. And this thing could go from like 0 to a few hundred miles an hour in seconds. And to great comic effect, they would be slammed back in their seats, and periodically the Desi Arnaz Jr. guy would get slammed up against the rear window because of the intense force. But Automan was some kind of he was like a hologram. He was a hologram. That's how they explained how he was in the real world. That he was, and he had powers. And if you apparently the way that this thing opened up is if you give I'm going to load this on Wikipedia. If you give a hologram enough power, it becomes real. I didn't know that.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know that back in the 80s. But here's what it says. This is the opening sequence. This is the overdub. So Walter must fight crime in his own way in the computer room. That's where he's an expert. Fortunately for me, and this is Automan speaking, fortunately for me, Walter's advanced knowledge of electronics led him to experiment with what is known as a hologram. That's a very fancy word for a three-dimensional picture that, when perfected, can be made to look real, sound real. As a matter of fact, given enough power, it can be made to feel real. That's kind of what got me into this work. My name's Automan. Title. This is, but as a kid, I don't know how old I was, but as a kid, this show was like the best show ever. I don't know if anyone else remembers this. I seem to be the only person who remembers this. And then there was another show, first person who can correctly identify this other show and find it somewhere I can stream it. What do we send them, Hattie? What do you want to send them?
We will send them maybe some more Bacon Method stuff.
What, like a magnet? Oh, you got something there?
Like this mug.
All right.
Or these magnets.
Okay. So we'll send him that. There was a show. Here's all I remember about it. There was some kind of dude, and he was in, I think he came from out of Egypt, or he was a white dude with blonde hair and blue eyes, and he was an alien, and he was here on Earth for some reason here on Earth. And I don't know if he had come here and went into hibernation or what. And I remember his name. His name, such an 80s thing. His name was Bennu. And he had psychic powers. And he could do like telekinesis and other ESP. And I don't know what was going on with it. And I would just want to know the name of this show. I just want to know the name of the show, and I'll tell you what, we'll send you a magnet if you can tell me the name, and we'll send you a mug if you can find out where I can legally stream it. Okay, now here's something else. Since we're talking about these 80s shows, and hit me up at Dan Benjamin on Twitter is where you go to tell me about this. This one has been really troubling me because I can't tell. I'm not sure if this is a hallucination or if this was a real show. So I'm kind of stuck with that, where this is. But there was a guy, and I maybe am confusing this with that Shazam show, so forgive me. But there was a guy, and then he had like a friend, and one of them was from the future, and I think they drove around in like a camper, in some kind of camper, and they had a little robot. And the robot, it was about this big. Okay, so for those of you at home, maybe a little taller than a coffee mug. And the robot was black, and it had these two little squat legs, and it would walk. This sounds like
You're sounding crazy.
making this up. And it would walk around. And I know that the robot's name wasn't Twiggy because Twiggy was from Battlestar Galactica. Like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not Battlestar Galactica. What's his name? Buck Rogers. Why do I always say Battlestar? I am an idiot.
You just like to say it.
Buck Rogers had Twiggy. And then when they went into space, they had Twiggy, and then they had the big tall robot that was like a doctor or something. They called it Doctor, the tall robot. Anyway, forget those guys. It wasn't Twiggy. But I want to call this little black robot Twiggy, but it wasn't. And it sort of walked around. And I don't think it could really do anything, but it was pretty cool. If you can find that show and tell me what it is, just tell me I'm not crazy and this is real. And if your kid's listening to this, go ask your father. But I'll send you a mug if you can tell me. Hit me up on Twitter at Dan Benjamin, because that thing is just...
It's driving you crazy.
It's driving me nuts. And I've been trying to figure that out. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. I want to talk about watches, though. How long have you been in here? 51. Okay, we got time. Let me tell you about Harry's first. Harry's. When did shaving get so expensive? You just want to shave. I like to be. I shave maybe 3 times a week because I've talked about this. I have very sensitive skin. I have the skin of a newborn baby combined with the facial hair of a Viking. It's true,
I
right?
know. I'm laughing because it's true.
You've seen me when I skip shaving for a couple of days.
Scary.
Yeah. And the reason I do that until recently, I would go much longer, is because I couldn't find blades that would stay sharp. I would use a blade once, and then I'd be done with it. I'd have to throw it away. It seems wasteful, but that's because, unlike Superman, I can't use my heat vision against a mirror to shave my own face. I have to use blades. Harry's made the first blades I can actually use. What they did is they went and bought a blade factory in Germany that's been making some of the best blades ever. And they paired them. They bought that factory, and then they paired them with these really wonderfully weighted handles that are wonderful shaving experience. They send you with this great. I like the shave cream because I'm old-fashioned traditional, but Merlin Mann likes the shave gel. That's what he likes. I don't know why. And they send you this starter kit. It's $15. You get the razor 3 blades and shave cream or the foaming gel. But if you use the code Dan sent me, all one word, you'll save $5 off. It'll be only $10 for that starter kit. The starter kit itself makes a great gift for your loved one, male or female. Women are using these, Hattie.
Yeah, they are.
You got one for your dad, and you said if it hadn't been for the engraving, you would have kept it.
RDC is not my initials.
Yeah. It's my mom's birthday today. I should have gotten her one of these. But anyway, they eliminate the middleman, and they save you a lot of money. And I'll save you even more, $5 more. Go to Harry's, Harrys, Harrys.com. Code is Dan sent me, and you'll save $5 there. It's my mom. It is my mom's birthday. My mom has been sending me pictures of me when I was a little boy. I look shockingly like my son, kind of a little bit like my son, and it's just weird because it also like my daughter in a way. Like, it's weird. I've never seen this picture. I don't know where she pulled this one from. But go ask your parents. Go ask your parents to find a picture of you as a child that you've never seen, and it will shock you. Google, Intel, and Tag Heuer are teaming up on a luxury smartwatch. This is a big deal because Tag Heuer has been in the watchmaking business for a couple thousand years. They really know what they're doing, and they've partnered up with Google and Intel, and the watch that's coming out. I mean, obviously, this is something that people want, because they're sitting there looking at Apple watches that cost $10,000. So there's a great quote in here. First of all, LVMH watches chief Jean-Claude Biver said this was his biggest announcement ever in his 40 years of working in the industry. He predicted the device will be the greatest connected watch. David Singleton, the head of Android Wear development for Google, added, "When I think about the watch, it's always been a marriage of beauty and utility. We're going to do that with our partnership. Tag Heuer is going to be doing the design and manufacturing. Intel will be providing an SoC platform, and Google will lend its Android Wear platform and help develop software. It will be launched by the end of the year, at which point price and functions will be announced." I'm already in line to get one of these things. They've done other electronic devices. In 2008, they came out with a mobile phone called the Meridiste.
Ooh.
2 eyes at the end. Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Meridiste. But they've done this. But here's some quote that some quotes I really liked in this article. Here's a quote: "The difference between Tag Heuer watch and the Apple Watch is very important. That one is called Apple, and this one is called Tag Heuer, and that's their slam on Apple."
Nice.
But there is another article that I read that I have here in the show notes. Show notes can be found Go to danbenjamin.com. Look at the latest the latest post there. That's a good place to go because we're getting a lot more coming to that site. People will have the impression that they're wearing a normal watch, but it will not be a normal watch. And here's a quote from Biver. Apple will get young people used to wearing a watch, and later, maybe they will want to buy themselves a real watch. Ooh, shots fired, Apple. But I mean, think about it. It's true. People are going to be introduced to the concept of wearing a watch when they weren't wearing a watch. I'm not wearing my watch today because I like the Timex watch that I have. But some days I just forget. I just don't put it on. But I imagine if it was doing something else for me, if it was tracking how many steps I took in a day, if it was tracking my health, if it was giving me important notifications, I probably wouldn't want to forget it, just the way that I used to forget to bring my cell phone. I don't need it. I don't need it where I'm going. Now it's like I can't make it through the day unless I've got that thing. But think about that quote. Maybe later they will want to buy themselves a real watch. There are people who say that you can't create anything on an iPad, and that's not true. I argue that Apple Watches are real watches, but I'm very interested to see. You know, Apple comes in and disrupts an industry. They did that with the phones. They did it with computers. They've done it many, many times with many, many devices. I anticipate that Apple will disrupt what we think of as a watch the way they disrupted what we think of as a phone. I think everybody's expecting that from them, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. You agree, Hattie?
I do agree.
Anything to add to that?
I mean,
Is the lower third done?
yes, it is.
It is done.
It is in your folder.
All right, I'll put it on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, have you made a decision if you want an iPhone, if you're going to be getting a new iPhone or an Apple Watch? Are you still considering that?
Oh, now it's between an iPhone and the watch?
Correct.
Last time it was between the MacBook and the watch.
Though the MacBook's off the table, as you say.
Well, I think definitely the phone would be my first choice.
That's what you're saying. You need a new phone.
Phone would be first. Then probably watch. But I'm not in a rush to get the Apple Watch.
When I look here in the lower thirds folder, I see an on the phone which has...
Is there one that says large?
No.
Just drop that in there.
In the lower thirds folder
yes,
in the
Wirecast,
in the Dropbox?
Yes.
Oh, I'll see it. You know there's that bug, though. There's that bug. Anyway, we'll figure it out later. I thought maybe we'd have a lower third.
It's right there. I'm looking at it.
Another thing that's interesting, though, that I would like to talk about is in the watch space. Going back into looking at the Pebble Time, they have a new announcement that they made that they are going to have something called smart straps. They will work with the Pebble Time steel. And these are, I believe they'll work with the regular Pebble Time as well. But here's what they have on their Kickstarter page. Have you ever wanted to go for a run without your phone and still track your speed and distance? How about a Pebble Watch with a battery life of more than a week?
What?
What about an NFC chip for payments, keyless car remote, or a pollution sensor? Well, here's their thinking. Rather than trying to shove every sensor and doohickey into the Pebble Time, we decided to keep the watch simple and functional and give our incredible maker and developer community the opportunity to build from there. Up until now, if you wanted to, you had to compromise on battery life, size, feature set. Not anymore. It's smart straps. Straps can contain electronics and sensors to interface directly with apps running on Pebble Time. So you can do things like GPS, heart rate monitor, NFC, battery extension, you name it. You can build it and put it into this thing. They're still finalizing it. But they're working hard on this, and it's really cool. It's a really cool idea to think that depending on what you want to do, you could go and get the strap. Oh, you know what? Today I'm going to be camping. I'm going camping, so I need to put on my camping strap that has built-in GPS and it has a battery life of a week. And then you're like, oh no, I want my regular office day. Well, this one has NFC. They've even done something where they've got a little thing that'll do a cell signal so that you can actually get your watch on the air, like a phone.
That's crazy.
So, who knows? Is that you've looked at these Pebble Times we never got answers about the difference between girl, a lady,
Yeah,
and
no
a
one.
woman.
Did anyone tweet us? Did any
I got a
female
couple
listeners?
tweets, but I don't see. I think the female listeners on this show are they're hiding out because I think
we'll
about
find them.
I think just like the population here in the United States, my listeners are 51% women. But I'd like for them to kind of come out of the woodwork and chime in on this. I'm really asking. I need some opinions here. Oh, we can announce Virginia's thing, right?
I think so.
Okay, I'll announce it after this.
Cool.
The last thing I want to tell you about in the watch space, Apple Store 9 to 5 Mac has a scoop saying that Apple will be, it has its retail plan for the watch. You will be, basically, there will be 10 try-on stations. 10 try-on stations.
Seems like a lot.
You will have 15 minutes of appointments. You don't have to get an appointment, but you can do a 15-minute in-store try-on appointment using these 10 try-on stations. So if you just want to go in and see the watch, you can do that. You go in and you make an appointment, and they will guide you during this hands-on experience. And I think this is interesting. It says a couple things to me. One of the things that it says is people will not understand intuitively how to use the Apple Watch. That's a big part of what this says.
I think we've heard many people say that.
Right.
Is that it doesn't use the same type of gestures that you're used to on like the iPad and the iPhone and things like that. And also you have to go back and forth between the dial and the touch screen, and it's not intuitive enough to know which one you're supposed to be using.
Yeah. Do you think Apple is worried that people are going to go and buy a watch and give it a bad review or tell their friends it sucks or return it or something because if they're not shown how to use it?
That would make sense. Yeah, they'd be like, it's too difficult to understand. I don't know. I don't get it. And then they just move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
People have very short attention spans.
And they'll get lots of returns. And then
Right.
Apple will be like, oh, great, everyone's returning the watch. That sucks. I remember giving my 2-year-old son letting him use the iPad for the first time. I did not have to explain anything to him. I didn't have to show him how to do anything. And I'm not saying this is because he's a super genius. I mean, he is a super genius. How could he not be?
Yes.
But I remember handing him an iPad, and it was an older iPad. I'd put just kid apps on it, and I was like, hey, see what you can do here. I did. I said, and he immediately he tapped the thing came up. He started touching the screen, because what do kids always want to do? They want to touch a screen.
You want to touch everything.
And don't touch the screen. Don't touch the screen. No, and they touch the screen. Well, you're supposed to touch the screen. He did. Figured it out. Same thing with my little girl. They don't need any explanation at all. They just can use it instantly. So I wonder if the experience of using an Apple Watch is going to be so significantly different that Apple's scared. I wish Dalrymple was here to ask him that, because he's had hands-on experience with it. We'll have to get him on. But I think people are going to be a little bit scared. I mean, Apple's a little bit scared to see that people will use it, not understand it, and that's why they have to do this. Because I know I'll be able to figure this out. And so will you, Hattie, and so will most of the people listening to this show.
Mm-hmm.
But the regular consumer, it might take them some time, and Apple wants to make this simple and easy. But God, if the Apple stores aren't crazy busy enough already, they're already crazy busy enough. You can barely get in there and use, use the Apple app on your phone to buy a case.
Right.
It's a mob. It's mobbed. How are they going to fit a hands-on area and then 10 small stations where you get 15-minute appointments? I'm not going to be able to go to after these watches come out. I'm not going to be able to go to the store for 2 months. No one is. No one's going to be able to go there. 4 sponsors you booked, Hattie.
You told me to book
I mean,
them.
it's an hour-long show, and we're 6 minutes over. Audible is the Internet's leading provider of spoken word entertainment, information, and educational programming, and I love Audible. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a drive with my son coming up, taking him somewhere special. I can't say where, because we got creepy people out there.
You don't like creepers.
I don't want them to know where I'm going when I go. But I'm going to be, and you know what? I know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be listening to an awesome audiobook from Audible, and I'll tell you which one it is after I download it. And the way that this works is you download the app to your iPhone, iPad, Android, Windows Phone, Kindle, whatever it is. And they also support over 500 MP3 players. It's crazy. But unlike a streaming or a rental service with Audible, you own the books that you buy. And in fact, I would like to give you, I would like to bestow upon you, a free audiobook. And it's free to keep, even if you're crazy enough to cancel Audible, which it would be insane. You keep the book. Then you get a free 30-day trial membership to choose from over 150,000 titles. Download for free and start listening. The URL to go to, audiblepodcast.com/Dan sent me. audiblepodcast.com/Dan sent me. Go there, get your free book, and start listening. And you know what's really cool? You get the quick 30-second rewind. You're paying tolls on the highway. You hit the 30-second rewind. Whoop. I used that a million times the last time I did a road trip. That was so nice. They have button-free mode. They got sleep mode, narration, speed control. Tons of really cool stuff. And they even have something which I think is really cool for people who are learning to read. If on the Kindle Fire HD, if you have one of those, you can read the book on the Kindle and listen to the audiobook at the same time, and it will highlight the words as it goes through and show you what you're reading. Isn't that cool?
I would use that.
About everything. audiblepodcast.com/Dan sent me. Go get your free book. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Microsoft, speaking of Microsoft, you're going to get they're trying to combat piracy by just giving people a free, notice the missing plugin for the Flash there. But Microsoft wants to get into China just like Apple does. Well, what does Apple do to get into China? Apple says, we'll just make stuff out of gold.
They like gold.
We'll make stuff out of gold.
I like gold.
Maybe you should go to China then.
Maybe I will go to China and buy gold things.
Well, anyway, that's apparently why we have a gold MacBook. That's apparently why we have, or a part of why we have a gold iPhone. Well, Microsoft can't make things out of gold because they don't really make that many products. What they make is software. So what they want to do is they want to get legitimate versions of their software on all of the machines in China. Recent studies are showing that 3/4 of all PC software is not licensed over there. And they want to change that. They are upgrading all qualified PCs, genuine and non-genuine, to Windows 10. The plan is to re-engage with the hundreds of millions of Windows users in China. And that's it. No more elaboration. Drop the mic, walk away. That's all he said.
That's all they say.
That's the end of the interview. Sexual chocolate. That's the best drop the mic and walk away I've ever seen. Did I show you that clip the other day last week? Because you've never seen Coming to America.
I have. It was a long time ago.
One of the best all-time Eddie Murphy movies. Spoiler alert, Eddie Murphy is in that. But yeah, Windows 10 is coming out this summer in 190 countries and 111 languages. Are you excited about that?
I guess I'm excited.
I don't care about Windows, but I want to. I want to switch back to Windows maybe.
You do?
No. I'm not going to talk. A lot of people are talking about the launcher being in the App Store.
Yeah, I saw something about that. What's going on with that?
Launcher was kicked out of the App Store, and then it came back in the App Store. Done.
See, I would play I love that story.
Yeah. Target's going to pay $10 million to settle a lawsuit from the data breach. Remember that?
I do remember that. That's when I stopped, using my debit card there and used my credit card.
Yeah, I know. My advice to people, and listen to me now. Listen to me now. I'm serious. Hear me. Hear me, people of Earth. Do not use your debit card anywhere. Never use a debit card. It's that simple. Do not use. Now, if you want to use it as a Visa card, or a MasterCard or whatever, what have you.
What do you mean? Just as a credit card?
Yeah, use it as a credit card. I don't even recommend that.
Some of them have like a credit card, debit card option.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'll tell you what. If you want to be smart about things, take your debit card and put it on your shelf and save it in case you need to go and get cash out. And when you need to go and get cash out, take the card, go to the ATM, get your cash out, and then that day at the end of the day, put it back on your shelf. You need it again next week, take it with you next week. Don't carry it around. Don't use it. Banks will hate me for telling you this because they make all their money there. But if you have to use it as a credit card. I recommend not using it at all. I'll tell you why. It's very simple. Hear me. Hear me now and believe me later. Consider that when you buy something, the money is instantly removed from your bank account when you do that. If you have, let's say there's some fraud that happens. Someone goes out, buys an Xbox or PlayStation on your debit card. That is a Visa card. They use that to buy it. That money's gone from your account now.
Immediately.
Let's say you go to a restaurant and you buy a meal and they charge you $10 more than they should have. That's gone from your account immediately. Let's say that, I heard about this happening to someone. They went and they bought tickets to South by Southwest and they forgot to put in the promo code when they were checking out.
Mm-hmm. I heard that story too.
And the money for those tickets was pulled right out of their account instantly.
Even though the tickets were supposed to be free.
For completely comp tickets because you're press. I mean, whoever
Someone
this person was press. So that happens. Things like that happen. The money's instantaneously gone all 100% from your account. And then you can get it back, sure. You call the bank. You tell them what happened. They issue a credit. It's a temporary credit. It's a tentative credit. Then you've got to go in. That kind of sucks. Whereas like with a credit card, you can say this charge wasn't me. It was an accident or whatever. And the money is not gone from your account. And likely you can contest it before your next bill is even hit. You know what I'm saying? I think debit cards are a terrible idea. I understand why the banks want us to use them, but I don't recommend them. I recommend against them. I prefer the ATM card. And you can call your bank and say, I don't want my debit card anymore. Send me just an ATM only card. And that works the way that things used to do old-fashioned days, where you just had an ATM card, you go to ATM, you get money out, that's all it's good for. I don't want listeners of the show getting taken advantage of. You were yawning. Telling you, this show puts everyone to sleep, Hattie.
It doesn't.
And I know that it's a commitment for you to be here.
It's not a commitment. I love it.
I'm not going to do this article today. I'm not going to do that one today. I'll do that one. Before I do, really 4 sponsors, Hattie? 5-4 Club. I'll make this one quick because people are starting to get an idea of this. You know what? Mark got his. Did you know that? Mark got his 5-4 Club stuff.
Yes, and he sent a picture on Twitter.
It looked really cool. I didn't get that shirt.
Yeah, you didn't.
I want my next box. So the way this works is 5-4 Club sends you $120 worth of clothes every month for only $60. Only $60. You get $120 worth of clothing. You go in there, you fill out this super simple, fun, I thought it was fun little profile that gives them an idea of the kind of clothes that you like. You fill that out by clicking on the shirts or the pants, the jeans, whatever you like. They got your profile, then they start sending you stuff. I hate shopping. Most guys hate shopping. This is a guy's clothing company that knows that understands that and wants to make it easy. So you're going to get new clothes every month for $120. Exchanges are free and easy, and it's exclusive. Only current club members. You can't even go to the online store and get this unless you're a member. So it's $60 a month. I'm going to save you right here $20 a month. How? This code, Dan20 off, Dan20 off, Dan20 off. Gets you $20 off your first box. Get54.com. And again, that code Dan20 off will save you $20 off your first box. You'll spend $40 and get $120 worth of clothing.
Really
Thanks
cool
very much
clothes.
Last thing I want to talk about is there are now more Uber cars than yellow taxis on the road in New York City.
Wow.
They're saying black is the new yellow.
I was going to say they're going to have to, they always show like the yellow taxi in movies and stuff to show that, oh, we're in New York. Well, now they're just going to show the Uber
cars.
logo.
Right. You're right. Uber has thrown down the gauntlet. They have overtaken the yellow cab industry. They have 14,088 black and luxury cars affiliated with it in the 5 boroughs, compared to 13,587 medallion cabs. according to the Taxi and Limousine Commission. You can just turn on your phone and start working at any time, said Uber driver Joel Abreu, 24, who lives in the Bronx. He makes $85,000 a year after expenses driving a luxury SUV for the company, more than double the salaries of an average yellow cab driver. He's making, let me say that again, he's making twice as much as an average cab driver, okay, by driving a nicer car.
He's probably making twice as much as many people in the United States.
Well, in New York, $85,000 barely gets
right,
you,
that's,
you know,
but here in Austin,
a
that's
subterranean apartment.
you're a wealthy person if you're making that
Yeah.
here in Austin.
He says the service has become too popular, and he wishes there were less competition. He says, I feel like there are too many drivers now. Yellow cabs still make 10 times more trips than Uber cars in the city. Cabbies, though, are saying that they have no plans to switch. The money isn't bad, and the person I drive for is a friend of mine, so I'm helping him out as well, says Shami Sharma, 61, of New Jersey. He makes $35,000 a year, which is about $10 an hour. He's got a Ford Escape cab. So, critics of the app, they say that Uber is siphoning revenue from the city because it doesn't give tax revenue through medallion sales, and its alert of drivers has discouraged medallion auctions. I don't even know what that means. They also are worried that it adds to the city's congestion since Uber trips take place in Manhattan. I don't know. Last time I was in New York, Hattie, have you ever taken a cab in New York? I know you've visited New York a number of times.
I have taken a cab
What
in
was
New
the
York.
experience like in a taxi cab in New York? Was it daytime or nighttime?
It was nighttime.
What was that like? Were you a little nervous?
A little nervous, yeah. I would probably take an Uber if I was going to go anywhere nowadays.
How long ago was that?
Year and a half ago? Yeah, I think.
Were you?
And then did we take Ubers or did we ride in yellow cabs?
When we were there with at Scott Beale's Laughing Squid.
Yeah, I think we took a cab.
I think we took a cab.
No, we got an Uber.
Yeah,
I remember now.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I don't like taxi cabs in general. I try to avoid them if there's an Uber. I understand why people don't like Uber, but for me, Uber allows me to move through any city that I want in a way that's familiar and comfortable to me. Whether it's New York or San Francisco or Los Angeles or Atlanta. I think they're a great company because they do the thing that I've been talking about forever now, which is they let me buy back my time. They let me buy time is the one thing you can't generate. You have to buy it. You have to buy it back. So I'm willing to buy that time back. I don't want to wait for a cab. I don't want to try and get a cab. I can tap my phone, pretty soon maybe a watch, and all of a sudden there's a car, there's a water bottle inside.
Also, no one can come out of the side alley and just suddenly take your cab away from you.
Oh, right, because they're there first, right?
I hate that.
That happened to me.
That's happened to me in Austin.
Really?
Yes. It was ridiculous.
What happened?
I was waiting for a cab, and I think I'd called or something, and they pulled up. And these people just ran out, and just like 6 people got in the cab. I was
a cab that you'd called yourself?
Yep. And I was like, okay,
well, that's
sucks. Happening.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Howard Chicken in the chat room wants to know if you have any thoughts on Tebow possibly joining the Eagles.
I do have some thoughts.
I knew you would.
Yeah, this is a rumor. It's basically okay. So for people who don't know what that means, I guess I should put these links in the show notes. Okay, so Tim Tebow is a quarterback. I'm not a big fan of his throwing style, but they brought Tim Tebow in for a workout. So let me explain what this means to people who don't follow the NFL and sports in general. When a team brings in a player for a workout, what this means is essentially they want to put them through the physical paces to see what they're made of, to see what they can do. How fast can they run? How much can they lift? Sometimes in a workout, the quarterback won't even throw, but usually they throw. But they brought him in and then let him leave town without signing any contract or anything like that. Here's the thing. The Eagles are trying, everybody knows this. They're tweeting about it like it's news, but they're trying to trade Matt Barkley off. Everyone knows this. I don't know why they're acting like this is news. They're right to try and, okay, but if he's traded, here's the one thing I am reading, is there's an 80% chance that they'll sign Tim Tebow. Sam Bradford is the Eagles starter. Mark Sanchez is backup. And Tebow could be the number 3. But we will see what turns out there. Chip Kelly, I think, has done some interesting things with the Eagles. I don't even count last year's season. They did pretty good last season. Hang on a second.
I was going to say. There you go.
The Eagles did pretty good last season.
Now you're doing a sports show.
You want to tell them what just happened for those who are listening
He
at
just
home?
got up and got his Eagles hat.
My Eagles hat is on now. So now I can talk about sports for another couple hours.
Has anyone ever seen you in a sports cap, as they call them?
I'm sure I wear it all the time on the weekends.
Yeah, I guess the fans, the weekend fans.
The weekend fans here in Austin have seen it. I mean, Tebow could be back in the NFL. I mean, who knows? And you know, like during the off season, an NFL team will carry a handful of quarterbacks. They might keep them all. They might release them. Usually they're going to have 3, even 4 before training camp. And then they dump a couple of them. That just happens. But I don't know. Like I don't want, like Tim Tebow is not, I'm not a fan. I'm not like a Tebow fan. I feel like he's kind of a construct, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I don't know, but I don't know. I could see him being a number 3, but you know, I don't know. I feel like the Eagles right now. McNabb was my favorite Eagles quarterback in my adult life. You know, he had some problems, but overall, I thought he was a fantastic quarterback. Overall, he was really consistent. He got us into the playoffs many times. And Super Bowl once, and due to some technicalities, I guess you could say, one reason or another, game didn't go our way. It's all right, but you know, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm very interested in this offseason. This is a crazy offseason for me, as an Eagles fan, as just an NFL fan. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. Looking at the draft, looking at all these workouts that are happening, Chip Kelly, and seeing what he's going to do to kind of rebuild the offensive line. The defensive line is fine, I think, but rebuilding the offensive line. Anyway, you can hear people I can hear people hitting the stop
They're
button
going,
right now.
Yeah, Dan,
Or the
whatever.
Fast forward, double speed button, whatever. You can hear them doing it. But anyway, that's it. Any more questions from the
from the chat room? I'm looking now. I don't believe so.
I'll take this off so we can talk about technology again.
Push your glasses up, Dan.
Yeah, right. Just need a little Band-Aid to hold them together in the middle there. All right, well, that's it then. Thanks for tuning in. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, and
Yes,
we
it
will
is.
have a show. I've been discussing maybe doing a Monday through Thursday show, but it's going to be Friday this week for sure, and probably indefinitely, because people seem to like the weekend edition of the show. So we'll keep that going. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks very much to Jeff Kanata and Jeffrey Zeldman, both of whom were pressed for time, and we were running a little late, so sorry to them, but go check out their wares and productions, of course, and we will be back tomorrow. Have a good Thursday evening. All right, so that's it. Yeah, they were nice.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Look at that. It's before 5 o'clock. Only 48 minutes late in finishing the show. I like the little GoPro camera. I can't wait to put that
I know, I like that one
in
too.
the right place.
Did we switch to the GoPro at all during the?
I did. Yeah, I switched to it a few times.
Okay, I thought so. I do like your new shot.
The new shot. I feel
It's fun.
Yeah, it's a good shot. I like it better than my straight on shot.
Oh, you were gonna announce?
Oh man.
You gonna do that today or tomorrow? First thing.
Well, she's gonna be on it tomorrow. She's gonna be on the show tomorrow. So we can announce it tomorrow.
We can announce it while she's on the show. We'll say
I'll
we have a
tweet about it
secret
today.
guest.
How about this? We tweet about it today with your artwork.
I think she's really gonna like it. Can they still hear?
Yeah, everyone's here listening. It's
Yeah.
just live stuff now.
She said do it tomorrow.
She said do it tomorrow?
Yep.
Is she in the chat room?
Yep.
Creep. I mean, cool.
I mean, yay, Virginia.
I mean, I love her. She's great. I'm guessing the audio was synced up.
Fingers are crossed.
I mean, they're hearing it synced up, right?
I think so.
I didn't do a check before we started. Chip Kelly. Listen, is Greg in the chat room?
I don't believe so. Not today.
Son of a gun. Are you kidding me?
What? What's happening?
I'm upset that he's not listening live because I had to listen. I'm going to pit you against him.
Why?
You know what? I want to write
Greg
this
and I
up
are
on the
not
board.
in the race.
I'm going to write this up on the board in that other blank one there.
He'll win. I already know it.
Katy Perry,
Okay.
$1,000 bonus.
We
to
should
whoever.
write the top thing.
Katy Perry, $1,000 bonus. Chip Kelly, $500 bonus. If you get Chip Kelly on, how about this? If you get Chip Kelly here, I will buy you an iPhone or an Apple Watch. That has to be the low-end Apple Watch. I will do the same for him.
I'll get it. I'll get him.
You
I
got to
just
get
know it.
one of the two of them.
I can't get Katy Perry. Greg could get Katy Perry.
Why do you think he could? You're like a Katy Perry fan. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Katy Perry fan.
I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know. Maybe.
You don't think what?
I don't think she would respond to my emails.
Why? You and her like sisters.
BFFs. I'm slouching. That's why you're like, move your mic up.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
was trying to
or I could
signal you
just
during the show
stand
to
up
move your mic up.
straighter. Sit up straighter.
You weren't doing it.
Ugh.
Like move your mic up and you're like, I can straighten my spine. And yeah. Because that's set for spine height. Did we have any good titles come in?
Spine height.
Yeah. Did we have any good titles?
Well, that's the title.
But this is happening after the show.
I don't think we had any titles, actually.
I want to go grab the GoPro and run around the room with it.
GoPro.
Because we're gonna
Camping strap.
Did I say that? Who said camping strap? What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't recall saying camping
Then
strap.
I think that was the
See,
only
I feel like
title.
if you brought this down a little bit, the camera
GoPro?
down. No, that camera.
Then you're just going to be two behind the monitors.
But I feel like it's above my
Between two
sight line.
monitors.
It's above my. It's above my sight line.
It's like Between Two Friends, but you get people from technology.
It's
it.
above my sight line.
That's good. It's the aerial shot. I see you clip the little thing in up there.
Ooh, you noticed?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did put that in. God, it's probably not where we're going to put the GoPro, though, is it? Probably up there.
More, yeah, over there.
And down over there. I
Yeah.
just wanted to try it.
It clipped well.
Yeah, it clips well. See how the mic is right in front of your face?
When you were
See, you
talking
gotta-
about the pebble straps is when
No, if you
said camping
can't sit up straight, then we can just adjust the mic so it's lower.
no,
for
it's better. It
slouching
should
position.
make me
See,
sit
I
up
find
straight.
like if I want to sit up straight, I need to look at the difference
When you sit up
when
straight.
I sit up straight, like how
See,
far
I
away
have
I am
that
from the
shot
mic.
positioned for your slouch.
Oh, so you're set. You're set
See,
on
like-
knowing I'm gonna be down here
A little bit higher than
like
that.
this. Hi,
Hi.
how are you? Let's do a show. It's fun to do shows. Right about here. This is where I think you have it set for, which would be fine if I sat like this. But anyway, I want to introduce. I'm gonna save this as an after dark.
This?
Even though I hit stop, I'll just export that one
Yeah.
bit of the file out as an after dark.
I
Call
think
it a
that's
day.
good.
Oh God, we've got what's her name? Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
She's supposed to be starting. Let's see if she works out as an intern. We had lots of interns. They come and go.
Yep.
They come and go like
They got to do their schools.
yeah. They
Finish up
they
their
come in,
school.
they get a semester where they're busy and they quit. Or we let them go. Interns are like fire log, like firewoods. You go and you get them and you
No.
throw them in the fire and they burn up, you use them up and then they're gone. They just disappear.
I don't think so.
And then you scrape up their ashes and
Oh my God.
but that's what interns are, right? I mean,
No,
they're just
interns-
disposable.
Interns are like Tylenol.
Like Tylenol.
you take them and you're like, oh my gosh, I can function again.
Mhm.
Or no, you know what? They're like coffee.
They are.
They give you a little pick me up, and they help you get through your day,
Yeah.
and they make things better.
Yeah.
And then, sometimes you like to try new coffee.
Mm-hmm.
New
No, I
kinds
know
of
exactly
coffee.
what you mean. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I switched from the Verona to the Pike's
Or
Place.
how come the file isn't in here?
That's
The file that you
scary.
put in here is not in here.
It's in there. I'm looking at it right now. Look, on the phone large.png.
Do you see it here? It's not here.
It is in Wirecast. I'm looking at it. Wirecast, lower thirds, on the phone large. What do you want me to do?
I see it on the phone, and I see
On
one
the
called on
phone
the phone
large.
screen.
No, large.
All right, hold on. Let me get in here. Lower thirds.
On the
phone.
phone
Okay, I see it in there,
Uh-huh.
but it's not in.
You told me to put everything in the Wirecast folder.
Right? No. I mean, but it's not in the. It's not when I do the file open dialog in Wirecast. It's not in there.
You're seeing. Okay, I understand.
Now, do you get it?
Yes.
All right, hold on now.
Are we gonna do a test?
Yeah, I'm doing a test right now.
And I think I had it
On
left
the phone
justified.
large. Left justified.
I mean, not the image, the text inside of the image.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's good. But see, that's the same. That's the old one. Hold on, let me get
Yeah.
the new one back. This is what people tune in for on the phone large. Open.
Then you can drop the picture in the little square on the right.
It's not really Oh, I see. It is kind of like a box. There
It is a box.
on the phone large.
I don't know what else to name it.
On the phone large. I'll put Zeldman's picture in there. This is gonna be tricky to do. You know?
Why? Who's
Why?
that?
It was Will Carroll.
Oh,
You know who Will Carroll is.
I couldn't see it. It was a quick.
Help if I use the right keyboard. Like, why isn't it resizing? See, I'm gonna have to crop the image and everything.
Why? Oh, right. Well,
That's
right,
cute.
because the other one was full screen and it didn't have
and
any.
and this one isn't. Can I move this down?
The what?
The lower third. Oh, I guess I'll have to just crop it. It's gonna look good, but it's a lot of work. Whew.
Tell me what I can do to make that not as difficult.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get pixel perfect with this thing. My God.
There was a Disney Channel movie called Pixel Perfect.
Was there really?
Yeah, they created a fake girl like to hang out with, and she was like the
I
perfect
don't like the
girl.
bottom of that at all. Is this supposed to be flush to the bottom of this? Do you like that?
Well, you said it was good.
What happened to the
So-
filmer one?
It's the exact same thing. I just cropped his face out.
His looked like it had a bottom to it. You know what I'm talking about?
I can make it have a bottom. Maybe just the pictures were different. I don't know.
Oh, no, I'm going to find the filmer one. Just show you. Because he did really good on the filmer.
It's the same thing.
There he is. Hold on, I'll put him on there. I guess it is the same. See his?
Yeah, it's the same.
It feels like it needs a bottom on there. Don't you think?
I guess. I didn't know how you wanted to treat the photo. The photo could take up the whole right side and cover up the orange on the right at the top.
Yeah, maybe that would be good.
I want to show.
You know what? If you could make it like flush right. But I like that. So would I keep my lower third on here when I'm doing that shot, or what? Would I just
I
have
would
his
take
on the
yours
phone? Take
away,
mine away
yeah.
and do just his?
Mm-hmm.
So I would need to set up two different shots. I'd have to set up one shot for this. And
I
one,
hope Virginia likes my artwork.
Can we show the artwork on the show right now?
Yeah, how do you want me to do that?
Put it in the drama.
Just put it there. Okay.
No, we can't do it. It's too much trouble.
No.
Plus, we got to go. I got to start editing this show. I like the new angle, the new shot you set up for
Me too.
a lot. And I want to get rid of this chalkboard and I want to do something with a screen.
As long as it doesn't
And I
have a
want to
glare or
move that
flicker.
screen down, way down, parallel with the camera to the left of the camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Why don't you like it up that
Because
high?
look at the, okay, watch. I'm going to look to the left of the camera. Watch my eyes. I'm going to look to the left of the camera.
Okay.
Just trying to get you neon. Look to the left of the camera. My eyes are right now on the left of the camera. Does it look like I'm looking at the camera?
No,
Does not.
not to me.
Okay, tell me when I'm looking at the camera.
No.
So you can't tell the difference.
I just said now.
But then you didn't say anything when I
Right,
switched away
because
from
then
it.
you moved away. You weren't
Well, you
on
didn't
it.
say that. I said, tell me when I'm looking at the camera. So
Right,
you would say now. And then if I stop,
you were,
if
and
I
then
say,
you went
if
away.
I stop, then you would say not now.
Okay. Now. Not now. Now.
Okay. Now watch the difference when I'm looking up though, because it's even more
Okay.
noticeable. Watch.
Up. Camera.
It's even more
Yeah,
noticeable, right?
It is.
That's all I'm
Side
gonna
to
put for
side
this.
actually is better.
That's what I'm thinking. So, and pretty soon we'll have an intern sitting right next to it.
Are you going to take the sound panels off the wall on the
No,
right?
heck no. Why would I do that? I'll put the camera the other way, left.
You'll put the monitor on the left side.
Yeah, like the monitor on the
Of
left
the
side of
camera.
the camera. Correct, yes.
Look to the left of the camera again. Now look at the camera. Now look at the left side. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you. This one I'll never be looking at anything. We need something in this gray space back there.
I know I want to fill it with something.
Yeah. All right, let's turn off the stream and say goodbye to our beloved friends. Goodbye, beloved friends.
Goodbye,
We're going
old
to edit some
friends.
shows. We will talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye to the video people.
Bye, video.
Goodbye, video people. And goodbye to our lovely GoPro friends up there.